Good evening and welcome to the Worldwide End Time Radio broadcast. I am your host, Brian Delory, and I thank you for tuning into the program this evening. And on tonight's program, I'm going to be speaking about the coming one world church, the coming one world ecclesiastical religious system. And I believe that pertains to the Catholic Church. I believe that the Catholic Church is going to head up this one world religious system during the time of the Antichrist. And what I'm about to share with you all is in no way intended to offend Catholics, but at the same time, the truth must be told. And as one who has been as one who has been given the responsibility of teaching the truth, then I have the unenviable task of telling people things that they sometimes don't want to hear. So that's what I'm doing tonight. It's not intended to hurt or harm anyone. In fact, the message is intended to free people from bondage to a false religion. That's what this message tonight is all about. And so I'm going to get started, and we're going to go here to a portion of Scripture that most of us are very familiar with, at least those of us who have been studying the Bible for 35 years. And this is found in Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And we're going to go ahead and start there. And as you may or may not have noticed, this is part one of this teaching series. It's probably going to go into 3 parts. I'll try to trim it down to 2 if at all possible, but there's a lot of material to cover, and I just can't do justice to this material in covering this material in just one program. I just can't do it. So here we start at Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels. This is John writing in the book of Revelation. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was written a name, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now, I think I've done enough teaching on this network concerning Babylon and the things written in the book of Revelation that most of you who have followed this program can tell that what I'm referring to here is what is known as religious or ecclesiastical Babylon, which is represented by a woman in Scripture. Spiritual adultery, spiritual whoredoms are always represented by an evil woman. And so this woman, it says that she rides upon the beast. Starting at verse 4, it says she was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So Babylon, that was started by Nimrod before the flood, is where all of the mystery religions in the world began. They all started back there, and they've continued on through to the present time. And notice that God is the one giving this information to John, and so apparently God views Babylon as the mother of harlots, or the mother of spiritual adulterers and adulteresses and abominations of the earth. This is the beginnings of false religion in the world. And it goes on to say, that this woman, well, I was telling you a moment ago that the woman is riding upon the beast. And if you remember, I don't have it right in front of me just now. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. This woman was riding upon a beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, the 7 heads represent the 7 Gentile empires that rule over Israel. And if you remember, just go back in your mind to what you've learned about the kingdom or the empire of Babylon. Remember when King Nebuchadnezzar took over the nation of Judah and took Daniel and his friends captive. Remember, he changed their names to the names of that would they were Babylonian names, and I'm losing track here. I just want to say that those names were given to him according to Nebuchadnezzar. They would be representative of the Babylonian kingdom and of the Babylonian god. So the Babylonians obviously had their own system of worship, as did all these other empires that are spoken of here, these 7 Gentile empires. And so that is what is being conveyed by the woman riding upon the scarlet-colored beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads are representative of the 7 Gentile empires that have ruled over Israel, and those empires all have their own system of false religious worship. So that's what it is indicated by the woman sitting on this scarlet-colored beast, and also the 10 horns, which I believe are the 10 horns of the revived Roman Empire, and that these horns will come to power at in the tribulation period. And of course, I believe this comes out of Rome, which at this present time is the capital of all false religion in the world. And of course, I'm referring to the Vatican, to the Pope, to the Catholic Church. That's what I'm speaking of here. So, at the end of time, as we know it, the last 7 years of life on this planet, as we know it, there will be a confederation of nations that will give their power and strength to the Antichrist, and they will be governed by a false religious system. That's what's being represented here in the book of Revelation. So now we know that all these false religions in the world had their origins in Babylon. For example, and this is something that all of us should be familiar with, if you've ever been into a Catholic church or a Catholic school or any institution that's in any way remotely related to the Catholic Church, you've seen this symbol, and it is a symbol of a woman holding a child. And this began here back in Babylon, and this. Remember, I just told you that the Babylon the Great is the mother of harlots, and so this is where these false religions began. And one was a false religion between Semiramis and Nimrod, and this was begun, and this is what is being shown in these pictures that you often see in the Catholic Church and in Catholic literature, of a mother and a child, a woman holding a child, which the Catholics use to represent Mary and Jesus Christ. But in the Babylonian kingdom, the same symbol was used to represent the relationship between Semiramis and Nimrod. And I'm attempting to find it here. I have a lot of things here in front of me. For heaven's sake. Always happens when I'm in the middle of a broadcast. Here we are. This is where Babylon was, where the mother-child cult was first set up. And like I said, what it really means, there's some other spiritual significance to it, is that the Babylonians of that time twisted Scripture around and made this to represent Nimrod and Semiramis, and that Nimrod, if you read in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15, that it says that when Christ comes, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, well, here it is, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. They're saying, by this picture that was created to represent Nimrod and Semiramis, that Nimrod was the Messiah, and that he destroyed or bruised the head of Satan. And then this is unbelievable, but this is what is represented, or what is the meaning behind this picture that you see all over the Catholic Church, all over Catholic literature. If you go to a Catholic church, they have the stained glass windows. You oftentimes see it there. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the Catholic Church gets most of its teachings and its rituals from the Babylonian religion, which was begun by Nimrod thousands of years ago, even before the flood. And so with that, I am going to go ahead and close out tonight's program. Let you think about that. Let you study that out. And I will be back tomorrow with part 2 of this message, God willing. And just think about what you've learned here tonight. And like I said, the internet is a fabulous resource for biblical teachings, although, every teaching conceivable is floating around out there in cyberspace, so you have to be careful about the things you believe, because there are so many misleading teachings on the internet today, it beggars description. And so I hope this message has helped you, and again, I will be back to continue it tomorrow night, and until that time, as always, I leave you with this reminder to keep the faith and defend the truth. Have a good night, everybody.